The Bosnian War was an international armed conflict that took place in Bosnia and Herzegovina between 1992 and 1995. Following a number of violent incidents in early 1992, the war is commonly viewed as having started on 6 April 1992. The war ended on 14 December 1995. The main belligerents were the forces of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina and those of the self-proclaimed Bosnian Serb and Bosnian Croat entities within Bosnia and Herzegovina, Republika Srpska and Herceg Bosnia, who were led and supplied by Serbia and Croatia respectively. The war was part of the breakup of Yugoslavia. Following the Slovenian and Croatian secessions from the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia in 1991, the multi-ethnic Socialist Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which was inhabited by Muslim Bosniaks, Orthodox Serbs and Catholic Croats, passed a referendum for independence on 29 February 1992. This was rejected by the political representatives of the Bosnian Serbs, who had boycotted the referendum and established their own republic. Following Bosnia and Herzegovina's declaration of independence, the Bosnian Serbs, supported by the Serbian government of Slobodan Milosevic and the Yugoslav People's Army, mobilized their forces inside the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina in order to secure Serbian territory. Then war soon spread across the country, accompanied by the ethnic cleansing of the Bosniak, Muslim and Croat population, especially in eastern Bosnia and throughout the Republika Srpska. It was principally a territorial conflict, initially between the Serb forces mainly organized in the Army of Republika Srpska on the one side, and the Army of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which was largely composed of Bosniaks, and the Croat forces in the Croatian Defense Council on the other side. The Croats also aimed at securing parts of Bosnia and Herzegovina as Croatian. The Serb and Croat political leadership had agreed on a partition of Bosnia with the Karađorđevo and Graz agreements, resulting in the Croat forces turning against the ARBA and the Croat-Bosniak War. The Bosnian War was characterized by bitter fighting, indiscriminate shelling of cities and towns, ethnic cleansing and systematic mass rape, mainly perpetrated by Serb forces, but to a lesser extent, Croat and Bosniak forces. Events such as the Siege of Sarajevo and the Srebrenica massacre later became iconic of the conflict. The Serbs, although initially superior due to the weapons and resources provided by the JNA, eventually lost momentum as the Bosniaks and Croats allied themselves against the Republika Srpska in 1994 with the creation of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina following the Washington Agreement. After the Srebrenica and Markali massacres, NATO intervened in 1995 with Operation Deliberate Force targeting the positions of the Army of the Republika Srpska, which proved key in ending the war. The war was brought to an end after the signing of the General Framework Agreement for Peace in Bosnia and Herzegovina in Paris on 14 December 1995. Peace negotiations were held in Dayton, Ohio, and were finalized on 21 November 1995. According to a report compiled by the UN, and chaired by M. Cherubasioni, while all sides committed war crimes during the conflict, Serbian forces were responsible for 90% of them, whereas Croatian forces were responsible for 6%, and Muslim forces 4%. The report echoed conclusions published by a Central Intelligence Agency estimate in 1995. By early 2008, the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia had convicted 45 Serbs, 12 Croats and 4 Bosniaks of war crimes in connection with the war in Bosnia. The most recent estimates suggest that around 100,000 people were killed during the war. In addition, an estimated 20,000 to 50,000 women, the majority of whom were Bosniak, were raped, and over 2.2 million people were displaced. making it the most devastating conflict in Europe since the end of World War II. Chronology. There is debate over the start date of the Bosnian War. Kljeda Milaj notes that clashes between Bosnian Muslims, Serbs and Croats started in late February 1992, and that full-scale hostilities had broken out by the 6th of April. Milaj reports that Misha Glenny gives a date of the 22nd of March, Tom Gallagher gives the 2nd of April, while Mary Kaldor and Laura Silber and Alan Little give the 6th of April. Philip Hammond noted that Bosnian Serbs argue that it started on the 1st of March 1992, with the shooting of a guest at a Serbian wedding, but that others maintain that it began with the recognition by the European Community of Bosnia-Herzegovina as an independent state, on the 6th of April, claiming that the most common view is that the war started on the 6th of April 1992. Some Bosniaks and Croats consider the first casualties of the war to be Suada Dulberovic and Olga Susic, both shot during a peace march on the 5th of April at a hotel under the control of the Serbian Democratic Party. Serbs consider Nikola Gardovic, a groom's father killed at a wedding procession on the second day of the Bosnian independence referendum, the 1st of March 1992, in Baskazia, to have been the first victim of the war. The war was brought to an end by the General Framework Agreement for Peace in Bosnia and Herzegovina, negotiated at Wright-Patterson Air Base in Dayton, Ohio between 1 and 21 November 1995 and signed in Paris on 14 December 1995. Background. Breakup of Yugoslavia. The war in Bosnia and Herzegovina came about as a result of the breakup of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. A crisis emerged in Yugoslavia as a result of the weakening of the communist system at the end of the Cold War. In Yugoslavia, the National Communist Party, officially called the Alliance or League of Communists of Yugoslavia, was losing its ideological potency. Meanwhile, nationalism experienced a renaissance in the 1980s, after violence broke out in Kosovo. While the goal of Serbian nationalists was the centralization of Yugoslavia, other nationalities in Yugoslavia aspired to the federalization and the decentralization of the state. Bosnia and Herzegovina, a former Ottoman province, has historically been a multi-ethnic state. According to the 1991 census, 44% of the population considered themselves Muslim, 32.5% Serb and 17% Croat, with 6% describing themselves as Yugoslav. In March 1989, the crisis in Yugoslavia deepened after the adoption of amendments to the Serbian constitution allowed the government of Serbia to dominate the provinces of Kosovo and Vojvodina. Until then, Kosovo and Vojvodina's decision-making had been independent and both autonomous provinces also had a vote at the Yugoslav federal level. Serbia, under newly elected President Slobodan Milosevic, thus gained control over 3 out of 8 votes in the Yugoslav presidency. With additional votes from Montenegro, Serbia was thus able to heavily influence decisions of the federal government. This situation led to objections in other republics and calls for the reform of the Yugoslav Federation. At the 14th Extraordinary Congress of the League of Communists of Yugoslavia, on 20 January 1990, the delegations of the republics could not agree on the main issues in the Yugoslav Federation. As a result, the Slovenian and Croatian delegates left the Congress. The Slovenian delegation, headed by Milan Kukan, demanded democratic changes and a looser federation, while the Serbian delegation, headed by Milosevic, opposed it. In the first multi-party election that took place in November 1990 in Bosnia and Herzegovina, the 3 largest nationalist parties in the country won: the Party of Democratic Action, the Serbian Democratic Party and the Croatian Democratic Union. Parties divided power along ethnic lines so that the president of the presidency of the Socialist Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina was a Bosniak, president of the parliament was a Serb and the prime minister a Croat. Nationalist parties attained power in other republics, including Croatia and Slovenia. Beginning of the Yugoslav Wars in March 1991, discussions between Franjo Tudman and Slobodan Milosevic, which became known as the Karađorđevo Agreement, reportedly included the partition of Bosnia and Herzegovina between Serbia and Croatia on 25 June 1991. Both Slovenia and Croatia declared independence, which led to a short armed conflict in Slovenia called the 10-Day War, and an all-out war in Croatia in the Croatian War of Independence in areas with a substantial ethnic Serb population. In the second half of 1991, the war was intensifying in the neighboring Croatia. The Yugoslav People's Army also attacked Croatia from the territory in Bosnia-Herzegovina, Sao Bosanska Krajina, Sao Herzegovina, Sao northeastern Bosnia, and Sao Romanica were Serbian autonomous oblasts formed in mid-1991 on the territory of Bosnia and Herzegovina. In September 1991, the European Economic Community hosted a conference in an attempt to prevent Bosnia and Herzegovina sliding into war. It resulted in the Lisbon Agreement, also known as the Carrington-Cutolero Plan, named for its creators Lord Carrington and Portuguese ambassador José Cutolero. They proposed ethnic power sharing on all administrative levels and the devolution of central government to local ethnic communities. However, all Bosnia and Herzegovina's districts would be classified as Bosniak, Serb or Croat under the plan, even where ethnic majority was not evident. The embargo hurt the Army of Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina the most because the Republic of Serbia inherited the lion's share of the Yugoslav People Army's arsenal, and the Croatian army could smuggle weapons through its coast. Over 55% of the armories and barracks of the former Yugoslavia were located in Bosnia owing to its mountainous terrain, in anticipation of a guerrilla war, but many of those factories were under Serb control, and others were inoperable due to a lack of electricity and raw materials. On 19 September 1991, the Yugoslav People's Army moved extra troops to the area around the city of Mostar, which was publicly protested by the local government. On 20 September 1991, JNA transferred troops to the front at Vukovar via the Visegrad region of northeastern Bosnia. In response, the local Bosnian Croats and Muslims set up barricades and machine gun posts. They halted a column of 60 JNA tanks but were dispersed by force the following day. More than 1,000 people had to flee the area. This action, nearly 7 months before the start of the Bosnian War, caused the first casualties of the Yugoslav wars in Bosnia. 5 days later, the JNA attacked the Croat village of Ravna in eastern Herzegovina on their way to attack Dubrovnik, and in the first days of October it leveled it, killing 8 Croatian civilians. The objectives of the nationalists in Croatia were shared by Croat nationalists in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The ruling party in the Republic of Croatia, the Croatian Democratic Union, organized and controlled a branch of the party in Bosnia and Herzegovina. By the latter part of 1991, the more extreme elements of the party, under the leadership of Mate Boban, Dario Kordic, Jadranko Prlic, Ignat Kostroman, as well as local leaders such as Anto Valenta, and with the support of Franjo Tudman and Goko Sasak, had taken effective control of the party. This coincided with the peak of the Croatian War of Independence. On 6 October 1991, Bosnian President Alija Izetbegović gave a televised proclamation of neutrality that included the statement, "Remember, this is not our war. Let those who want it to have it. We do not want that war." Massacres continued, and over the next few days the JNA leveled another 21 Croat villages in eastern Herzegovina. On 13 October 1991, Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic expressed his view about the future of Bosnia and Bosnian Muslims. In just a couple of days, Sarajevo will be gone and there will be 500,000 dead. In 1 month Muslims will be annihilated in Bosnia and Herzegovina. In the meantime, President Alija Izetbegović made the following statement before the Bosnian parliament on October 14 with regard to the JNA. Do not do anything against the army. The presence of the army is a stabilizing factor to us, and we need that army. Until now we did not have problems with the army, and we will not have problems later. Final political crisis on 15 October 1991. The Parliament of the Socialist Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina in Sarajevo passed a memorandum on the sovereignty of Bosnia-Herzegovina by a simple majority. The memorandum was hotly contested by the Bosnian Serb members of parliament, arguing that Amendment LXX of the constitution required procedural safeguards and a two-thirds majority for such issues. The Serb members of parliament, consisting mainly of the Serb Democratic Party members, but also including some other party representatives, abandoned the central parliament in Sarajevo, and formed the Assembly of the Serb People of Bosnia and Herzegovina on 24 October 1991, which marked the end of the tri-ethnic coalition that had governed after the elections in 1990. On 18 November 1991, the Croatian Democratic Union of Bosnia and Herzegovina established the Croatian Community of Herzegovina, and its founding document said, "The community shall respect the democratically elected government of the Republic of Bosnia-Herzegovina as long as Bosnia-Herzegovina remains an independent state in relation to former or any future Yugoslavia." Herzegovina was not the only Croat community on the territory of Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Croatian community of Bosanska Posavina was established to unify all political activities in the defense of Bosnia and Herzegovina and to strengthen the Croatian population in it. On 7 January 1992, the Serb members of the Prijedor Municipal Assembly and the presidents of the local municipal boards of the SDS proclaimed the Assembly of the Serbian people of the municipality of Prijedor and implemented secret instructions that were issued earlier on 19 December 1991. The organization and activity of organs of the Serbian people in Bosnia and Herzegovina in extraordinary circumstances provided a plan for the SDS takeover of municipalities in BiH. It also included plans for the creation of crisis staffs. Milimir Stakic, later convicted by ICTY of mass crimes against humanity against Bosniak and Croat civilians, was elected president of this assembly. On 9 January 1992, the Assembly of the Serb People of Bosnia and Herzegovina adopted a declaration proclaiming the Serbian Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina the Arbitration Commission of the Peace Conference on Yugoslavia in its the 11th of January 1992 opinion No. 4 on Bosnia and Herzegovina stated that the independence of Bosnia and Herzegovina should not be recognized because the country had not yet held a referendum on independence. On 17 January 1992, the Prijedor Serb Assembly endorsed joining the Serbian territories of the municipality of Prijedor to the autonomous region of Bosnian Krajina in order to create a separate Serbian state and ethnic Serb territories. On 25 January 1992, an hour after the session of Parliament was adjourned, the Parliament called for a referendum on independence on 29 February and 1 March. The Croatian War of Independence would result in UN Security Council Resolution 743 on 21 February 1992, which created the United Nations Protection Force in accordance with the Secretary-General's Report S. 23592 of 15 February 1992. On 28 February 1992, the Constitution of the Senior BiH declared that the territory of that republic included the territories of the Serbian autonomous regions and districts, and of other Serbian ethnic entities in Bosnia and Herzegovina, including the regions in which the Serbian people remained in the minority due to the genocide conducted against it in World War II, and it was declared to be a part of Yugoslavia. The Bosnian Serbian Assembly members invited the Serb population to boycott the referendums held on 29 February and 1 March 1992. The turnout to the referendums was reported as 63.7%, with 92.7% of voters voting in favor of independence. The Serb political leadership used the referenda as a pretext to set up roadblocks in protest. Independence was formally declared by the Bosnian parliament on 3 March 1992. On 18 March 1992, all three sides signed the Lisbon Agreement. Alija Izetbegović for the Bosniaks, Radovan Karadzic for the Serbs and Mate Boban for the Croats. However, on 28 March 1992, Izetbegović, after meeting with the then U.S. ambassador to Yugoslavia Warren Zimmerman in Sarajevo, withdrew his signature and declared his opposition to any type of ethnic division of Bosnia. What was said and by whom remains unclear. Zimmerman denies that he told Izetbegović that if he withdrew his signature, the United States would grant recognition to Bosnia as an independent state. What is indisputable is that Izetbegović, that same day, withdrew his signature and renounced the agreement. In late March 1992, there was fighting between ethnic Serbs and combined Croat and Bosniak forces in and near Bosanski Brod, resulting in the killing of ethnic Serb villagers inside Đakovac. Serb paramilitaries committed the Bijeljina massacre, most of the victims of which were Bosniaks, on 1–2 April 1992.